Hello YouTube. Let me straighten this camera out. I'm totally blind, so I hope this is right. Let me turn on my keyboard. We are talking about Amplitude on the MOXF-8, and let's dive right into it. So when you're sound designing, when you first turn on your keyboard, make sure I have sound. Oh yes, we have sound. Turn on your keyboard, and the first thing you want to do, I got a little stuff on my keyboard. I'll wipe it off later, but for this video, we're not going to worry about it for now. So let's press voice, and we're in the voice mode. And if you're new here, the voice button is just to the right of the data dial. It's going to be the first button on the top left of the six button row. Okay, so you press that, come down to job. If you really want to get a full idea of where all the buttons are, you can watch my video on getting around on the MOXF-8. And if you like my videos, please subscribe, hit the like button at the end of this video. And that way YouTube knows that you are digging my content, and also the subscribe button will notify you when I have uploaded a new video. Okay, so continuing on, we're talking about envelope amplitude, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a sound that I don't mind erasing for this video. Let's find one here. Let's go with this bank, and let's see. Oh no, we're in the wrong bank. Hang on 1 second. Here we go. And we're gonna go here. Okay, so we're gonna go to job, which is the button right over the, let's see, how many F sharps do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th F sharp coming from the bottom. Straight above that is your job button. Okay, so we're gonna hit job, hit enter, which is 2 buttons to the left of job. The second button, I'm gonna hit that twice. And then we have a piano sound. That's what it always defaults to when you initialize the sound. Now come back just to the right of the enter button. You hit enter, hit the edit button, and now you're in the edit mode where you can edit your elements. Okay, coming to the right, we have come to the right of the job button. Come all the way over, you'll see a row of buttons. These buttons, the buttons are just above the keys on the bottom here, are to turn on and off your elements. So you have 1 through 8 elements, and then just above that you have element 1 through 8 to select the element. So I'm going to select element 1, and I'm going to pick a I'm going to go oscillators, so that's F1, SF1, and if you don't know where those are, I'll tell you in a second here. Let's pick our sound. So I'll just go ahead and tell you. So under the screen there's SF1 buttons, and under that row of the top buttons is the regular F1 through F6. Okay, so I pressed F1, then I press SF1 to get to oscillators. Now I'm going to pick my wave. I'm going to use the one I always use. Let's use a sawtooth-like wave. Okay, so let's use a sawtooth-like wave. Here we go. Okay, so here's our sawtooth. Now, to get to your envelope generator for amplitude, you're going to press F4, and then you press F3 to get to that. Now, by default, it's going to have you on attack. And I'm just going to show you some basic stuff because this can get real complicated. I mean, F2 has stuff, F4 has some things, I believe, F5, and F1 we may talk about. Yeah, let's talk about F1 real quick. So F1, I'm sorry, SF1. If you press SF1, you'll be here where they have the option to change your volume to your sound. Okay, and that's the first cursor position. Below that is your pan, okay, and it's at the center by default, and you can pan left by turning the data wheel counterclockwise, or turning it right clockwise will make it go to the right. Okay. The thing I want to talk about too is you can always hold down the shift key and move these the data wheel or the increment or decrement buttons at the same time to move in bigger steps. Okay, so that's volume is the top row, pan is next. You also have in this screen, and I don't really remember where this is a little bit more advanced, and I didn't really want to talk about this in the video, but there are alternate pans positions, alternate pan positions, and there's also a random pan. It's really difficult to, you have to have earphones on to, I have to have earphones on to find the center again, because it just goes all over the place. So we won't get into that today. What we will talk about is SF3. Now by default, like I said, it comes in on attack. This is where you can change how much bite or how it fades in if you're creating pads. Okay, so that's what attack will do. And you can, let's set it right about, I keep hitting the same key so I can hear what's happening, of course. Okay, so there's our attack. Okay, now, if you go over 3 times, 1, 2, 3 clicks with the cursor, you'll be on release, I believe. Let's just double check that. And so release is what's going to happen after you let go of the key. The reason I'm showing you release instead of all the other ones first is because it's kind of difficult once you start going down on the cursor to find release again. Okay, so it's best to do it from the top. If you already know you're going to want release, just go ahead and set your release. Okay, so there's release. Now, let's go onward. If we go back over to the left a little bit, I believe this is Decay1, okay? And usually with Decay, it will determine how much time it takes to before it gets to the sustain level. Okay, so we're not going to hear anything right now. See, I hold down the key, it still plays long notes. Okay, now you're probably wondering, well, how come I can't just set those with the knobs on the left, like they illustrate with this particular product? And the reason I'm teaching you this way is because you may want in your sound design one element that has a short attack or a short decay, you know, a very short sound, and your next element you want to have a long sound. And you can't do that with those knobs. So you have to do it this way, unfortunately. And fortunately at the same time. It's really cool. I love sound design. So, okay, I'm back here at attack. Let's go down 1 under Decay. Okay, I believe this is Decay. And remember, I'm totally blind, so I usually do this whole area by hearing, you know, just listening to what I want. For example, let me just do this. I'm going to go over here to where I believe the sustain is, or the hold time. And I'm going to change the hold time. Okay, so I changed some things, and that's way at the bottom here. I went all the way down to the bottom, and if you go over to the, if you go all the way over to the right, after you get to the bottom, and make your adjustments, and you don't hear anything happening like I did there, that's when you just hit left once with the left cursor, okay, and that should do it. So this, I'm gonna put a lot here. This is where we were, and come back down with the dial, jumping in big steps. And now from here, if I go straight up one, I can, if I go up one with the cursor, I can change. I think that was it. Nope. Let me back up. Go back down and go over to the left. There we go. There's our decay. Okay. So now you can make plucks, you know, with this. And I will do a video also on LFO. There's a lot with that too. So we'll just cover the basics, and we'll get into advanced stuff as I get more into advanced stuff. Unless you want to venture out on your own, that's fine too, but I will continue to make these videos anyway. So here's your plucks. Okay, now also I wanted to show you that this is the same as filter and pitch. When you're in the filter and pitch area, the way you get to the envelope generator in those areas, so what they call peg, I guess. So you're gonna go to pitch, F2, F1, so F2, SF1, should be on pitch now. Yes, we are on pitch. And then to get to the peg, or the pitch envelope generator, press SF3. And now you should be by default on attack. Keep in mind that once you start moving the cursor around, this is going to be a challenge to get back here. But it's not impossible. You just have to keep messing around until you get there. But that's only if you decide you want to change your pitch. What I find is that in order to get the pitch to move at all, I'm going to need to come down one and over to the right one. So I'm here at attack, come down one, over to the right one, make a change here, and you can make your pitch drops there. You can reverse these. This is a really cool area to play around in. Is your pitch area, your filter area too, has the same kind of things. So negative values will make it go up in pitch. Positive values will bring it down. So one thing you can do is, if you're going to use the click method, you can always count with the dial by tens when you start moving these, okay? So that way you can kind of get an idea where you're at. I know it's a pain in the butt, but hey, we're blind, and there is nothing we can do about that. This is the way we'll have to do it on hardware like this. Okay, so I brought it back to 0. Now, let's go to filter and do the same thing. Okay, so SF3 will be the FEG, or filter envelope generator, for filters. But first you need to press F3, then press SF3. Okay, now you're here. Let's go ahead. Let me go over here to filter types, I'm going to change the frequency a little bit so we can hear what really happens here. So I'm going to bring the frequency down. Take some of that bite away, right? This has some resonance too. So we already hear a change. So now when we hit the F3, start playing with the attack first by default, remember, it comes in on attack. This is when you first turn the keyboard on. So if you leave this area, say you save the sound, and you leave this area, and you want to start a new sound, you're not going to be on attack by default. It's going to be wherever you left your cursor, okay? So that's the unfortunate thing about not being able to see our screen, but we have our ears to hear what sound we want to create. So here's attack, and the higher the number, the longer the attack will be for the filter, right? Okay, and if we go over one more, now we can start playing with, I believe this is Decay1. And if you go down one, right underneath that will be Decay2. And that's going to help you shape your sound a little more. Okay, and I went back over to the left. I'm going to make some changes here. I think this is attack 2. These also have what they call Decay1 and 2 levels. And so does the envelope amplitude and the pitch envelope generator. The levels do different things if you change those. This is level 1, okay, for the decay. Okay, if I change level 2 for the Decay2, okay, and I believe there's a release here. That I haven't quite found yet. But this, again, like I said, with sound design, it's all ears anyway. So just use your ears, and I'm just showing you that the basics of how to get in here and make some changes. So this one, I am able to get back to attack and change my attack. Now with different filter types, it's gonna sound different however you set your parameters, okay? So for example, I'll give you another filter here, another filter type. So it's a different filter type, so it's acting different. Here's a different one. Now there's a lot of resonance, so I can go down here past gain, past frequency, cutoff frequency. So that's 2 down from the filter type on SF1. Coming down one more. Here's resonance. Let's pull some out. And that's what you end up getting there. I won't give you too many spoiler alerts on the filter types, unless you leave it in the comment section that you'd like to. I really wish they would come out with DAW software besides Pro Tools that's affordable or even free for us as blind users to connect up with to further our production. And if you guys know of one, leave that in the comment section below. I know there's Audacity, but I'm talking about something with VSTs and all that stuff involved. It'd be great. Love it. So, okay. So, let's see, what else can I cover? You know what? I'm going to make this a little longer video. We covered envelopes. So let's go ahead and talk about velocity for a second. So we're going to press F1, SF1, 1 to get back to our oscillator area, just as a reference guide. That's where I go. Now let's press SF3. Now, there's a couple things here. You have high and low key in case you want to split your key. Now this is different from splitting with the split button. This split is going to allow you to split more, so you can have because you're sound designing. So I can make this element 1 only play up to the second B on the keyboard if I wanted to. Okay, and that's simply by going over here to low, which is the top left with your cursors. And if you don't know where the cursors are, if you're new here, it's underneath the dial, the data dial. There's a cursor up and down, coming straight down from the data dial. And then the buttons outside of that space above the up cursor is plus and minus. So plus over here on the right, minus on the left. Coming down from the minus is your cursor left. Then go straight across. Go straight across is your cursor right. So I'm going to cursor all the way to the right. To the left, I'm sorry. Get over here to the left top. And what you're going to do is, if you press SF6, hold it down and press B. Now, any notes below B will not sound, okay? It'll all be blank here. Now you can do it the other way around. Let's return that. Let's go ahead and set that back to normal. Now, if we want it to be that nothing above B plays for element 1, then you're going to press the cursor to the right one, then hold down the SF6 and hit your C, your second C. I think it's the third C on the keyboard. Now, I'm sorry, hit B, hit B. We want nothing above B to play. So now if I play C, I believe that would be called C3. On up is nothing. However, if I add a second element, so I'm going to do that, press element 2, go to the top, press SF1 to make sure you're there, go to the top left and turn that element switch on. We have piano again, and we have them both. So how am I going to fix that? All right, so let's press SF3 again, and I'm going to click over here to the I'm going to click over here to the top left, and I'm going to press C while I hold down the SF6. Now after C is just the synth sound, and above C is your piano. Okay, so it's your piano there. And you can make some really, really cool stuff with that setting. All right, now let's talk about velocity. Velocity is on the same page as the key limit. All right, it's can be a tricky, so we're just gonna go basics, okay? You can get really advanced with this stuff. That's what they did with building our piano sounds on here. All right, so, and keep in mind, I'm teaching you this stuff because I'm trying to help you save money, and that way you don't have to go out and keep buying packs and kits. And I mean, it's nice to have them, but it's also great to be able to know how to do some of this yourself. All right, so top left is lower key limit. The next cursor position is upper key limit. The next cursor position to the right is your velocity on the I want to say for lack of better words, the left side of the velocity. How low is it going to be? So right now it's set to 0, I believe. And if I press the key, no matter how hard I hit the key, nothing changes. Okay. Then if we cursor over to the right, there's the top of the velocity. How high are you going to allow this sound to go? Okay. Let's put that at 127. That's the highest level. And go back to the left and start moving the data wheel, or however you prefer, plus or minus buttons. I'm holding down the shift key. If you don't know where that is, go back to your cursor buttons. The one right below left cursor is exit. Don't hit that. The one next to it is shift. Okay. And so I'm holding that down with my thumb. Okay. So I already see some movement. When I hit the key really soft, it misses. Okay. So how do we fix that so it actually works how we want it to? We're gonna go down. We're gonna go down 1 to crossfade. Okay, this is crossfade. I'm gonna use the shift and data wheel at the same time. And there you go. I just moved it like 2 or 3 clicks. And if I were to count it, it'd probably be 30%. So here, we just set the velocity for element 2. That didn't happen for element 1. You see that? So if I wanted to do that for element 1, I'd have to repeat the same steps. So let's go to element 1. I'm gonna go over to the first velocity position. Now let's go to the second one. Make sure that's at 127. Oh, wrong sound. All right, so 127, I'm gonna make some adjustments here. Okay, it's missing already. I'm gonna go down the crossfade. Okay, I need to make some more movement here on the left side of the velocity. Let's make sure I am on that. Oh, you know what? Let's make sure I'm on element 1. Okay. All right. So I am on element 1. And how do you press? You press F. You press the first button in the row on the right here for element 1 through 8. Remember, I was telling you about that earlier. So we're gonna press the first one. I'm gonna make sure I'm in the right screen. I am. I'm gonna go back over here to the right. Make sure this is definitely 127, and make sure I'm just gonna make sure it's 0 again, and then I'm gonna make my changes. I'm gonna take my crossfade and start moving it. There we go. So I can press it softly, and there you go. So that's velocity. Okay, so that's all I have to give you for this video. The next video will be LFO, and there are 2 of them, and we'll cover that, and then we'll go into EQ, and then there'll be effects, and then we'll also talk about controllers. That's your mod wheel, your pitch bend to assign. Right now, see, nothing's assigned. And we still have, believe it or not, a surprise. I'll tell you later. All right, thank you, YouTube. Thank you very much. And God bless and be safe. Now, I don't have a remote to turn off my thing here. Something fell over. I'll pick it up. And I hope my camera was straight. So let me know in the comment section, those that can see. And I'm turning this off now. Catch you later.
Stop recording video.